Now to this 3 on Your Side investigation that reveals the newest suspect in last month's triple homicide has a criminal history stretching back more than a decade, and that's not even the most shocking part. Devin Montecure is awaiting extradition from Texas, the 4th person charged in the June killings of a mother, her sister, and her 2-year-old son. The other 3 suspects here, Michaela Young and Cornelius and Jordan Carter, who are not related, all 4 face capital murder charges, and court records show Montecure should have been behind bars long before those killings. Our analysis found that by 2015, he'd pleaded guilty to robbery, carjacking, motor vehicle theft, and shooting into a vehicle. A judge sentenced him to serve 4 years, but he cut that in half, earning credits for work in special programs. He later pleaded guilty to a federal felon in possession charge and served 3 years. Now fast forward to 2026. Before that triple homicide, Montecure was out on bond from 2 different courts. He was waiting on a grand jury indictment in Hinds County for multiple drug charges and felony fleeing since January of last year. And just weeks before the killings, a judge in the Capitol Complex Improvement District gave him a $100,000 bond on a drug charge, and he got out.